Imagine hauling 3 tons of ice, no refrigeration, across more than 8,500 kilometers, through snow and rain, asphalt and sand, across Europe and then the burning Sahara in 1959. That's what a Norwegian company did. This is the unbelievable story of the ice block expedition, how a block of ice almost survived a full month of relentless heat, distance, and danger. Stay with me, because by the end, you'll be questioning what's possible. The challenge is laid out. It began in 1958 with a radio station in Luxembourg. As a publicity stunt, they issued this challenge. Transport 3 tons of ice from the Arctic Circle to the equator. No refrigeration allowed. For every kilogram of ice that reaches the destination intact, a huge reward, 100,000 francs per kilo. Essentially, get it there and keep it there. Most people laughed. It seemed impossible. Then enters Glassvat, a Norwegian company specializing in thermal insulation, that is, keeping cold things cold, or hot things hot, by slowing down heat transfer. They realized this could be more than a stunt. It could be proof, worldwide proof of how well their material works. Preparation. Ice, insulation, logisticals puzzle, January-February 1959. The team travels to Svartisen, a glacier just north of Mo i Rana in Norway, on the edge of the Arctic Circle. They slice massive blocks of ice using chainsaws. These are 200 kg chunks, carefully extracted, then, via helicopter, brought down to the town center. Once there, they remelt or fuse those pieces into one giant block of ice, weighing about 3,050 kilograms, just over 3 tons. Now, the insulation, the ice is placed inside a thick iron box. Inside, layers of wood. Around and between, glass wool, fiberglass insulation developed by Glassvat. This material is superb at resisting heat flow. They also leave a small airspace between the ice and container skin to slow conduction further. Then the ice block is mounted on a truck. Alongside it, a van with supplies and a sedan with film crew documentation. They also loaded 300 kilograms of medicines destined for Albert Schweitzer's hospital in Lambaréné, near the destination in Africa. The ice would also serve to keep those medicines cool for a practical purpose, not just display. From Norway to the edge of heat. On the 22nd of February 1959, the expedition left Mo i Rana, route through Sweden, Denmark, Germany, Netherlands, Belgium, France. Through familiar roads, sometimes ceremonious reception. In cities, crowds, media, in Paris, Oslo, they are greeted. Everywhere, reporters curiously watch. Can ice survive? On the way through Europe, surprisingly little melting. When the block is transferred to a cargo ship in Marseille to cross the Mediterranean, after several stops in Europe, only 4 liters of water have melted. Just 4 liters, out of 3,050 kilograms. That's about 0.13% loss. But Europe would be the easy leg. The real test lay ahead. Into the inferno, crossing the Sahara. After disembarking in Algiers, their path leads them into the Sahara Desert. Heat spikes. Temperatures regularly reach 50 degrees Celsius, 122 degrees Fahrenheit. No roads. Shifting sand. Night cold. Day unbearable. The truck is heavily burdened. Ice block, its heavy insulation, the medicines, full crew and supplies. Multiple times the truck gets stuck. Sand swallows wheels. The team must dig, sometimes for hours, using steel plates to get traction. Meanwhile, they continue to drain meltwater from the container from time to time to relieve pressure and avoid damage. They must carefully manage every drop. The goal, minimize the melt, keep the mass of the ice as high as possible. Also, there's danger beyond the elements. Algeria was in conflict, the War of Independence was underway. Guerrilla fighters, rough terrain, political instability. The expedition, in some parts, is escorted by the French Foreign Legion for safety. They are told, no stops, drive for your lives, even if you get a flat tire. They camp at oases sometimes. Other nights, they sleep in sleeping bags under stars, sand on all sides. They ration water, deal with fatigue, exhaustion, and mechanical failures. The long haul, surviving 28 days. From February into March of 1959, the expedition pushed on, day by day, kilometer by kilometer. After 28 days of total travel, The convoy finally reaches Libreville, Gabon, very near the equator. The goal accomplished. The ice arrived. When they weigh the block, the results stun people. The ice has lost only 336 kilograms of its original weight. That is a loss of about 11%, meaning about 89% of the ice still intact. Over nearly 4 weeks, through blazing heat, without refrigeration, across thousands of kilometers, and only 11% gone. That's less than 15 liters of melting per day on average, in desert conditions, an engineering marvel, a precise logistical challenge, and a brilliant advertising stunt. Why it worked: science, strategy, and grit. How was this even possible? Let's break down the key factors. Insulation material, glass wool. The insulating layer was critical. Glass wool, fiberglass, has low thermal conductivity. It resists heat seepage. The wood lining and iron shell also helped. They minimized direct exposure to heat. Air gaps, layering, all slowed down heat transfer. Minimal handling and frequent monitoring, draining meltwater, taking care and covering, ensuring the container is solid and sealed, monitoring every stop, checking weight occasionally, addressing mechanical breakdowns quickly, route and timing. Starting from cold through Europe, slowly entering heat allows gradual adaptation. The Mediterranean leg, then into North Africa, timing to avoid the worst seasonal heat perhaps. Also the media and logistical support so they could resupply, rest, maintain. Absolute determination and human effort. Physical exhaustion, driving through sand, dealing with flats or getting stuck, maintaining morale. These men, in 1959, without modern GPS or reliable road networks, did this by persistence. Their bravery mattered. The payoff, more than ice. What did Glassvat get out of this? Beyond the ice, beyond the headline, proved their product in the harshest possible field test. The insulation held up. The public was convinced. Massive media attention all over Europe and beyond. The journey became famous. The story was told again and again. Goodwill, humanitarian angle. They carried medicines for Albert Schweitzer's hospital, delivered supplies, offered part of the ice to people in Libreville who had never seen ice before. Sharing, not just showing. They were offered further recognition. Supposedly, after arrival, the president of France, Charles de Gaulle, suggested the crew drive the block back to Paris under the Arc de Triomphe. But the men were exhausted. They declined and flew home instead. The ice was cut up, distributed among locals. Some were taken back to Norway for journalists at the premiere of their documentary. A symbolic gesture. Lessons and reflections. So what can we take away from this almost unbelievable expedition? Marketing plus engineering can go far together. Glassvat turned what seemed like a stunt into a long-lasting testament to their insulation's quality. Sometimes constraints, no refrigeration, high heat, political danger, force innovation. They had to use every trick they had. Scale matters. A large block, carefully insulated, loses less per kilo than many small parts. That's a physics lesson. Human resolve counts. Without the crew's courage, even the best insulation would fail. Also, perhaps a more subtle lesson. Ambition isn't just for money or fame. Carrying medicine, delivering hope to people who maybe had never seen ice is part of what makes a story worth telling. In a world saturated with viral challenges, glossy tech, and instant gratification, this journey reminds us that sometimes the most extraordinary things are achieved by combining science, courage, planning, and a sense of wonder. So, the next time you think that's impossible, remember the ice block that crossed the Sahara nearly intact. 3 tons, 28 days, heat, sand, hardship, but at the end, ice, virtually intact. This is more than a publicity stunt. It's proof that with the right materials, the right strategy, and the right people, even what seems foolish, nonsense can become real. If you found this journey as mind-blowing as I did, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps more people discover these hidden stories. Got a thought, a question, or maybe you know of another unbelievable expedition from history? Drop it in the comments. I rate every single one. And if you love these wild adventures from the past, subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. Because trust me, the next story is even crazier.